Hello, travelers, and welcome. You've found a quiet place to rest, where stories unfold slowly, and the world moves at a gentler pace. Tonight, there's nowhere you need to be, and nothing you need to do. Just settle in, get comfortable, and allow the journey ahead to carry you calmly from place to place, breath to breath. Whenever you're ready, let's begin. The station is quiet in a way that feels intentional, as if the world itself has agreed to lower its voice for the night. Overhead lights glow with a softened intensity, their halos stretching gently across the platform and reflecting on smooth stone floors. The air carries a clean, alpine coolness, touched faintly by snow and metal, by distant forests resting somewhere beyond sight. You arrive without urgency, your steps unhurried, your breathing already beginning to slow. The day that brought you here feels far away now, folded neatly into memory. All that remains is this moment, this platform, this sense of being exactly where you need to be. There are only a few other travelers nearby. Some sit quietly on benches, coats wrapped close, gazes unfocused and calm. Others stand near the edge of the platform, hands resting on suitcase handles, shoulders relaxed. No one seems rushed. No one seems restless. It is as if everyone has collectively understood that tonight belongs to patience. Ahead of you, the train waits. Its long body stretches into the distance, dark and solid, with windows glowing warmly like a row of lanterns suspended in the night. Steam rises faintly near the tracks, dissolving into the cold air. The train feels less like a machine and more like a promise, steady, dependable, ready to carry you gently forward. You walk alongside it until you find your carriage. The door opens with a soft, reassuring sound, and you step inside. Instantly, the chill of the night fades, replaced by warmth and quiet. The interior is softly lit, the colors muted and calming. Carpeted floors absorb sound, and the gentle hum of the train at rest vibrates faintly beneath your feet. You move down the corridor and into your compartment. It is simple and inviting. Two upholstered seats face one another, their fabric textured and comforting. A small table sits between them, polished smooth by time and countless journeys. A lamp above the table casts a circle of golden light, steady and warm. You set your bag down, remove your coat, and settle into the seat closest to the window. The glass is cool beneath your fingertips as you rest your hand against it for a moment, feeling the contrast between the warmth inside and the cold night beyond. Outside, the platform remains still. Inside, everything feels contained and peaceful. You take a slow breath in, then let it out gently, feeling your shoulders release. There is nothing you need to prepare for, nothing you need to remember. The journey has already begun simply by being here. A warm drink waits for you on the table, its steam curling lazily upward. You lift the cup, cradling it in your hands, and take a slow sip. The warmth spreads gradually, not rushing, not demanding attention. You savor the simple comfort of it, the way it anchors you gently in the present. Somewhere along the train, a door closes softly. A distant voice murmurs, then fades. These sounds do not intrude. They blend seamlessly into the background, becoming part of the night's quiet rhythm. With a subtle shift, almost imperceptible at first, the train comes to life. A low hum settles beneath you. The floor vibrates gently, like a deep, steady breath being drawn. The lights outside begin to drift, stretching slightly as the train eases forward. The platform glides past your window, unhurried. Familiar shapes soften and dissolve into darkness. The station recedes, taking with it the last edges of the day. You watch until the final lights slip away, then turn your attention outward to the open night ahead. The rhythm of the tracks establishes itself gradually. It is not loud or sharp, but rounded and consistent. A pattern that feels almost musical. Each repetition smooths your thoughts a little more, like water flowing steadily over stone. Beyond the window, the outskirts of town give way to open land. Snow appears in gentle patches at first, dusting fields and rooftops. Moonlight catches on its surface, causing it to glow softly, as if lit from within. As the train moves farther from the city, the snow grows more continuous, forming a quiet, unbroken blanket across the landscape. Trees stand still and dark against the pale ground, their branches heavy and patient. Everything outside seems to be resting. The moon hangs low and bright in the sky, its light spilling across valleys and slopes. In the distance, mountains begin to rise. At first, they are only shadows, layered gently one behind another. Gradually, their shapes become clearer. Broad shoulders, sloping ridges, peaks softened by snow. Inside the compartment, the lamp's glow reflects faintly in the window, overlaying your calm reflection onto the passing scenery. Your face looks different here, softer, less defined by effort or expectation. Your eyes are relaxed, your expression neutral and at ease. Time begins to feel different. Minutes lose their sharp edges. The journey unfolds at its own pace, measured not by clocks, but by curves in the track and shifts in the light. The train follows paths laid long ago, gliding smoothly through valleys carved by ice and time. You adjust slightly in your seat, finding a position that feels just right. The fabric supports you without resistance. A neatly folded blanket rests nearby. You draw it over your legs, welcoming its gentle weight. It settles easily, adding another layer of comfort. Outside, a small village appears briefly, nestled into the curve of a valley. A few windows glow warmly, amber against the blue-white snow. Smoke rises faintly from chimneys, dissolving into the night air. The train passes quietly, leaving the village undisturbed, allowing it to continue sleeping. Tunnels come and go, each one briefly enclosing you in darkness before opening again to moonlit expanses. In those moments of shadow, your reflection becomes clearer in the glass. You see yourself sitting calmly, carried forward without effort, suspended between places. Your breathing aligns naturally with the movement beneath you. Inhale slowly. Exhale softly. There is no need to guide it. The rhythm of the train does the work for you. As the elevation increases, the air outside grows clearer. Stars appear in greater numbers, scattered generously across the sky. They feel close somehow, as if the mountains have lifted you nearer to them. You do not name them or count them. You simply let them be. The landscape becomes more dramatic, but never overwhelming. Steep slopes rise close to the tracks, etched with wind and snow. Frozen streams glint faintly below, caught mid-motion. Snow-covered pines repeat in calming patterns, their forms steady and familiar. Inside, the compartment remains unchanged, a constant haven. The temperature is steady. The light does not flicker. Everything here has been designed to reduce the world to something manageable and kind. You rest your head lightly against the seat, feeling the gentle vibration travel through the frame and into your body. It is not disruptive. It is grounding, reminding you that you are moving, that you are being carried. Somewhere farther down the carriage, another soft sound. Perhaps footsteps, perhaps a door, briefly appears, then fades. Nothing lingers. Nothing demands attention. You look once more at the mountains sliding past, at the quiet snowfields, glowing under the moon. Their vastness does not make you feel small. Instead, it holds you, placing your journey within something enduring and calm. Thoughts drift through slowly now. Fragments of earlier travels, other nights spent watching landscapes pass by. Each thought arrives gently and leaves just as easily, like breath. The train continues its steady course, carrying you deeper into the Swiss Alps, deeper into the night, deeper into rest. And as the rhythm remains unbroken, you allow yourself to sink further into the seat, confident that this journey will unfold exactly as it should. The train leans gently into a curve, and you feel the motion subtly shift beneath you. It is a smooth, practiced movement, as though the rails themselves are guiding the train with quiet confidence. Outside, the mountains rearrange their silhouettes, revealing new valleys and slopes that had been hidden only moments before. Snow grows deeper as the journey continues. In some places, it lies untouched, smooth as fabric freshly laid. In others, it shows faint traces of wind, delicate patterns etched across its surface. The moonlight gives everything a soft sheen, blurring edges and softening contrasts. You notice how little effort it takes now to remain present. Earlier, thoughts may have wandered freely, but here they slow, naturally, drawn into the steady cadence of movement. There is nothing to solve, nothing to plan. The train handles direction, speed, and destination. You are free to simply observe. The glass of the window is cool against your temple as you lean a little closer, watching the world pass by. The sensation is grounding, a reminder of where you are. Inside, warmth surrounds you. Outside, winter rests quietly. The boundary between the two feels comforting rather than stark. Occasionally, a signal light flashes past, a brief point of color in the dark. It appears and disappears without consequence, like a passing thought that never fully forms. Soon after, darkness resumes its calm continuity. The mountains now stand closer to the tracks, rising steeply on either side. Their presence feels protective, enclosing the route in a broad, silent corridor. Snow-laden trees line the lower slopes, their branches bending gently under their own weight. You imagine the countless journeys that have followed this same path over the years. Trains moving through all seasons, carrying travelers with their own quiet intentions. Tonight, the route feels timeless, unchanged by the passage of hours or decades. Inside the compartment, the lamp casts its steady pool of light. Shadows gather softly in corners, but never deepen. Everything remains visible, familiar, reassuring. You shift the blanket slightly, adjusting it so it rests more comfortably across your legs. Your breathing is slow now, almost synchronized with the rhythm beneath you. Each inhale feels unforced. Each exhale releases a little more of the day you left behind. The body understands, even if the mind no longer tracks time. Outside, the terrain alternates between open valleys and narrow passes. In the wider spaces, moonlight spreads generously, illuminating snowfields that seem to stretch endlessly. In tighter passages, the mountains draw close, their dark forms framing the track. The soundscape remains constant, the muted hum of the engine, the gentle percussion of wheels against rails, the faint whisper of air moving along the carriage. These sounds do not fluctuate or surprise. They create a stable backdrop, ideal for rest. You recall how different this feels from daytime travel, when scenery rushes by in sharp detail and the mind stays alert. At night, everything softens. Movement becomes less about arrival and more about the experience of being carried. Another small settlement appears briefly in the distance. Its lights are few and spaced far apart, glowing like quiet stars anchored to the earth. The train passes without slowing, leaving the village undisturbed, wrapped once more in stillness. A tunnel approaches, signaled by a subtle darkening ahead. As the train enters, the outside world fades into black. Inside, nothing changes. The lamp continues to glow. The warmth remains. The sound deepens slightly, then steadies. When the train emerges, the moonlight returns, brighter than before. Snow reflects it generously, creating a luminous landscape that feels almost dreamlike. You blink slowly, letting your eyes adjust, then settle once more. Your posture loosens further. Muscles that may have held tension earlier in the day now rest easily. The seat supports you fully, asking nothing in return. Thoughts come and go without weight. Images, memories, half-formed ideas drift through like clouds crossing a wide sky. None stay long enough to demand attention. You allow them to pass freely. The train maintains its pace, unwavering. Outside, the mountains continue their quiet watch. Inside, you remain warm, still, and supported, carried onward through the heart of the Alps as the night deepens around you. As the night deepens, the world outside seems to grow quieter still, as though sound itself has decided to rest. The train continues forward, but even its presence feels softened now, absorbed gently by the vastness of the mountains around it. You sense the elevation increasing, not through any sharp change, but through the clarity of the air and the way the stars appear more numerous, more vivid. You notice how the moonlight shifts as the train curves along the mountainside. At times, it pours freely across open slopes, illuminating every contour of the snow. At other moments, it is partially hidden by rising rock faces, leaving sections of the landscape in shadow. This alternating pattern of light and dark creates a slow, visual rhythm that mirrors the steady motion beneath you. Inside, the compartment remains unchanged, a constant amid the subtle transformations outside. The lamp's glow feels almost like a hearth, a quiet center of warmth. Its light rests on the table, the seat fabric, your hands folded loosely in your lap. Nothing flickers, nothing startles. You shift slightly again, more out of comfort than necessity. The blanket moves with you, settling naturally, its weight evenly distributed. Your body feels supported from every angle, as if the seat and the gentle vibration of the train have learned your shape. The sound of the tracks continues its unbroken pattern. There is something deeply reassuring about its predictability. Each repetition confirms that all is well, that the journey is unfolding as intended. You do not anticipate changes. You do not wait for arrival. You simply remain. Outside, a wide valley opens briefly, revealing a broad expanse of snow-covered land. A frozen river winds through it, catching the moonlight in faint, silvery lines. The scene passes slowly, almost ceremonially, before the mountains close in again. You imagine how this valley might look during the day, perhaps lively with movement, perhaps touched by sunlight and shadow. But at night, it belongs entirely to stillness. And for this brief moment, so do you. The train enters another tunnel, longer this time. Darkness wraps around the carriage, but it feels contained, never oppressive. The sounds deepen slightly, becoming more resonant, then settle once more into their familiar cadence. In the absence of scenery, your attention turns inward, not to any particular thought, but to simple sensations: the warmth of the air, the softness of the seat, the steady rise and fall of your breath. These sensations require no interpretation. They simply exist. When the train emerges again, the sky appears darker, the stars sharper. The moon has shifted slightly, now higher, its light falling at a new angle. Snow glows differently under this changed illumination, its surface textured and alive with subtle variation. The mountains here feel taller, their peaks rising more steeply, their slopes more dramatic. Yet even this grandeur carries no tension. It feels calm, composed, as if the landscape itself is resting deeply. You rest your head back once more, eyes partially closed now, opening only occasionally to check the world beyond the glass. The reflection of the lamp overlaps gently with distant stars, blending inside and outside into a single, soothing image. Your breathing slows further, becoming almost imperceptible. Each breath seems to arrive exactly when needed, leaving just as quietly. There is no effort in it, no direction. The body knows how to rest. Somewhere in the distance, perhaps far below the tracks, you sense the presence of water, maybe a river moving slowly beneath ice, maybe a lake resting in silence. You do not see it clearly, but the thought itself is calming, like a quiet companion to the journey. The train maintains its steady ascent, navigating curves and gentle inclines with practiced ease. You trust it completely. The rails, the engine, the route, all of it feels reliable, proven by time and repetition. Inside the compartment, nothing changes. Outside, the night continues to unfold in slow, deliberate movements. And you remain exactly where you are, suspended comfortably between what has passed and what has yet to come, carried forward through the sleeping Alps. Your thoughts now are fewer, spaced farther apart. Long pauses open between them, filled not with emptiness, but with quiet awareness. You notice the hum beneath you, the faint pressure of the blanket, the soft glow of the lamp. These details anchor you gently. The train glides onward, its motion smooth and uninterrupted. Snow, stone, and sky move together outside, forming a continuous, tranquil panorama. And within this steady flow, you find yourself resting more deeply, allowing the night to do what it does best, carry you gently toward rest. The hours move gently forward, marked only by subtle changes in light and shadow outside your window. The moon continues its slow path across the sky, and its glow now falls more softly, diffused by thin clouds drifting high above the peaks. Snow reflects this gentler light, appearing almost blue, almost luminous in its quiet stillness. The train's motion remains unchanged, steady, and reliable. There is comfort in knowing that nothing unexpected will happen. Each curve has been anticipated. Each incline has been prepared for. The rails guide the train with certainty, born of long familiarity with this route. You notice how your body has grown heavier in the seat, not with fatigue, but with ease. Muscles rest fully now, no longer holding unnecessary tension. Your hands lie relaxed, fingers loosely curled. Your jaw is unclenched. Even your thoughts seem to move more slowly, spaced generously apart. Outside, the mountains begin to widen once more, giving way to another broad stretch of valley. Snow-covered meadows extend into the distance, interrupted only by the dark lines of trees and the occasional frozen stream. The openness feels expansive rather than exposed, like a deep breath taken slowly and held with comfort. A distant light appears briefly on a far slope, perhaps a solitary cabin or a small station resting quietly through the night. It glows steadily for a moment, then disappears behind the curve of the land. You do not wonder about it. Its presence alone is enough. Inside the compartment, the lamp continues its patient vigil. Its warmth feels constant, dependable. You realize you have not shifted in some time, and there is no need to. Everything is already as comfortable as it needs to be. Your breathing has become so slow and regular that you barely notice it. Each breath blends seamlessly into the next, part of a continuous, gentle cycle. There is no effort in staying awake, and no effort in letting go. Both feel equally possible. The soundscape remains unchanged, a quiet harmony of motion and stillness. The low hum of the engine, the soft rhythm of wheels on rails, the faint whisper of air along the carriage walls. Together, they form a steady backdrop that cradles your awareness. You allow your eyes to close for longer stretches now, opening them only occasionally. When you do, the world beyond the glass looks almost unreal, like a painted scene slowly unfolding. Snow, stone, and sky merge into soft gradients of light and shadow. The train glides onward, passing unseen landmarks, crossing invisible borders between valleys and elevations. You do not track where you are on any map. Location feels less important than sensation, less important than the simple experience of being carried. A sense of trust settles deeply within you. Trust in the journey, in the night, in the quiet momentum that continues without interruption. There is nothing to anticipate, nothing to prepare for. The present moment is complete on its own. The mountains continue their silent watch, immense and unchanging. Snow rests where it has fallen. Trees remain still. The entire landscape seems to breathe slowly, in rhythm with the train and with you. You feel yourself drifting, not abruptly, but gradually, as if easing into warmer water. Awareness softens at the edges. Sounds become more distant, less defined, though never gone. Light fades gently behind closed eyelids. The train carries on through the heart of the Swiss Alps, unwavering and calm, while you rest more deeply now, held securely by motion, warmth, and quiet. There is nothing more to do, nowhere else to be. The journey continues, steady and serene, as the night holds you in its calm embrace. The night stretches on with a calm generosity, offering no sharp edges, no sudden turns. The train continues its passage through the Alps with the same patient assurance, as if time itself has decided to slow its pace to match the rhythm of the rails. Outside, the snow-covered land seems unchanged, yet always subtly new, reshaped moment by light, angle, and distance. You sense that the journey has reached a deeper quiet now, one that comes only after hours of uninterrupted movement. It is the quiet that settles when nothing has gone wrong, when nothing is expected to happen. The body recognizes this safety and responds by letting go a little more. Your eyelids rest heavy, opening only when curiosity gently stirs them. When they do, the view is softer than before. The moonlight is thinner now, filtered through high clouds that drift slowly across the sky. Snow reflects this diluted glow, appearing muted, almost velvety. The mountains no longer feel imposing or distant. They feel familiar, like companions who have been traveling alongside you for some time. Their outlines rise and fall beyond the glass, steady and unchanging, offering a sense of continuity that is deeply reassuring. Inside the compartment, nothing calls for adjustment. The air remains comfortably warm. The lamp still glows with the same gentle intensity. The blanket rests where it should, its weight evenly distributed, grounding you softly in your seat. You notice how little distinction there is now between being awake and being at rest. Thoughts arise slowly, if at all, and fade before they can fully form. Awareness drifts, settling more in sensation than in narrative. The train hums steadily beneath you, its motion smooth and practiced. There is no lurching, no sudden acceleration. Each movement is anticipated, absorbed, and resolved before it can be noticed. The rails guide the wheels with quiet precision, and the engine responds without strain. Outside, another stretch of forest slides past. Snow-laden branches form dark, repeating shapes against the pale ground. The repetition is soothing, almost hypnotic, inviting your gaze to soften rather than focus. A gentle curve reveals a distant ridge, its crest faintly illuminated against the sky. For a moment, the ridge seems to move alongside the train, keeping pace before gradually falling behind. You watch without attachment, content simply to notice. Your breathing remains slow and even. Each inhale feels cool and light. Each exhale releases warmth, sinking deeper into the seat. There is no effort in maintaining this rhythm. It unfolds naturally, guided by comfort and motion. You become aware of how supported you feel, not only by the seat and the blanket, but by the journey itself. The train carries responsibility now. Direction, timing, distance, all of it rests elsewhere. You are free to rest within that certainty. Another tunnel passes, shorter this time. Darkness gathers briefly, then gives way once more to moonlit snow. The transition is gentle, without contrast or shock, as though the night itself is breathing slowly. You let your eyes close again, this time without checking the view. The sounds remain, constant and reassuring. The hum, the rhythm, the faint whisper of air. Together, they form a cocoon of sound that requires no attention. Time continues forward, but it no longer matters how much of it passes. Minutes and hours lose their names, blending into a single, extended moment of rest. The journey does not ask you to mark progress. It simply continues. The train moves on through the sleeping Alps, unwavering and calm, and you, held securely within its steady motion, drift deeper into ease, allowing the night to carry both the train and your awareness forward, quietly, gently, and without interruption. The night now feels fully settled, as if it has reached its deepest point of stillness. The world outside no longer changes in noticeable ways. Snow, sky, and stone exist together in quiet balance, each supporting the other in silence. The train continues through this resting landscape with the same measured grace, neither hurried nor hesitant. You sense that your awareness has softened further. Sounds remain present, but they no longer separate themselves into distinct elements. The hum of the engine, the rhythm of the rails, the gentle vibration beneath the seat blend into a single, continuous tone. It is not something you listen to actively. It simply exists around you, steady and reassuring. Your breathing is now slow and deep, each breath unfolding naturally from the last. There is a gentle pause at the end of each exhale, a moment of complete stillness before the next inhale arrives on its own. In these pauses, there is no thought, only quiet presence. The lamp's light feels dimmer now, not because it has changed, but because your eyes no longer seek detail. Its glow is enough. It defines the space softly, without drawing attention. Shadows rest calmly where they fall. Outside, the mountains continue to pass, but you no longer track their shapes. They are felt rather than seen, sensed as a vast, steady presence beyond the glass. Snow reflects faint light, trees stand motionless, and the sky stretches endlessly above it all. Your body feels completely supported. The seat holds your weight evenly. The blanket provides gentle pressure. Even the motion of the train feels like support, carrying you forward without effort or demand. Thoughts, when they appear, are brief and indistinct. They dissolve before forming images or words. There is nothing to hold on to, and nothing that needs holding. The journey continues exactly as it should. No announcements break the quiet. No sudden changes disturb the rhythm. Everything moves according to a calm, reliable order that requires no attention from you. You drift now at the edge of sleep, where awareness loosens its grip and sensation becomes softer. The boundary between inside and outside, between movement and stillness, grows less defined. The train carries on through the sleeping Swiss Alps, its path steady, its motion smooth. And within it, you rest deeply, wrapped in warmth, sound, and gentle movement, allowing the night to carry you onward, quietly and peacefully toward rest. The train remains faithful to its rhythm, carrying you onward with a consistency that feels almost timeless. There is no sense of rushing toward a destination, no anticipation pulling you forward. The movement itself is enough, steady and assured, like a lullaby expressed through motion rather than sound. Your awareness now floats gently, no longer anchored to any single sensation. Sounds soften further, merging into a calm, continuous presence. The hum beneath you, once distinct, becomes a background warmth, something felt rather than heard. Your breathing continues its slow, natural pattern. Each breath arrives quietly and leaves just as softly, creating a gentle wave that rises and falls without effort. There is a deep comfort in this rhythm, a sense that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Outside, the night holds its shape, Snow-covered slopes and dark forests slide past without interruption. The mountains remain steady companions, their presence constant even when unseen. The sky above stays wide and patient, stars resting in their places. Inside the compartment, the light has become secondary. You are aware of it only as a soft glow through closed eyelids, a subtle reassurance that warmth and safety surround you. The seat supports you fully, the blanket rests without shifting, and nothing asks for adjustment. Thought dissolves almost entirely now. There is no narrative forming, no memory rising to the surface. Awareness settles into a simple sense of being carried, of existing within motion without needing to direct it. The train glides onward through the Alps, its course smooth and unwavering. And you, held securely within this gentle passage, allow yourself to drift further into rest, letting the night continue its quiet work as the journey moves forward, calm and unbroken. The train moves on without pause, as though the night itself were laid out ahead in a single, unbroken line. Nothing signals a new beginning, and nothing needs to. The journey simply continues, deepening in quiet and steadiness, carrying you farther into the Alps, while the world outside rests more completely with every passing minute. Your body remains settled exactly where it found comfort before. There is no urge to adjust, no need to search for a better position. The seat supports you in a way that feels practiced, familiar, as if it has learned the shape of travelers over many nights like this one. The blanket rests lightly, its weight gentle and reassuring, offering warmth without confinement. Outside the window, the landscape unfolds slowly, almost ceremonially. Snow-covered slopes glide past in long, unhurried motions. Forests appear as dark, textured bands against the pale ground, their trees standing close together, unmoving and patient. The moonlight, now softened by thin veils of cloud, spreads evenly across everything it touches, smoothing sharp edges and quieting contrast. The sound of the train remains constant, a low and even presence beneath awareness. Wheels meet rails in a rhythm that has long since stopped asking for attention. It is not something you listen to anymore, but something you are carried by, like the steady current of a wide river. You notice how your breathing has found a depth that feels effortless. Each inhale arrives calmly, filling space without urgency. Each exhale leaves just as gently, releasing warmth into the still air of the compartment. Between breaths, there is a pause that feels wide and unhurried, as though time itself has learned to linger there. Thoughts surface only occasionally now, and when they do, they carry no weight. They arrive as impressions rather than words, faint images, fragments of memory, the echo of a feeling, then dissolve before forming into anything solid. There is nothing to hold on to, and nothing that needs resolving. The train follows the contours of the mountains with quiet confidence. You sense gentle curves as the carriage leans subtly, then straightens again. The motion is smooth and predictable, guided by tracks that have traced this path countless times before. Each turn feels anticipated, absorbed easily by the steady momentum. Outside, a wide valley opens briefly, its snow-covered floor stretching into the distance. The openness feels calm rather than vast, like a deep, steady breath taken by the land itself. A frozen river traces a pale line through the valley, catching the moonlight in soft, silvery reflections before slipping out of view once more. Inside, the lamp continues to glow with patient consistency. Its light no longer defines objects sharply. Instead, it creates a gentle atmosphere, a sense of enclosure that feels safe and complete. Shadows rest quietly where they fall, undisturbed. You become aware of how little effort it takes now to remain present. There is no pull toward the past, no anticipation of what lies ahead. The journey exists only as motion and sensation, unfolding moment by moment without demanding interpretation. As the train climbs gradually, the air outside feels clearer somehow, even through the glass. The sky deepens, its darkness rich and even, and the stars that remain visible appear steady and calm, fixed in their places. They do not flicker or call attention to themselves. They simply are. Your eyelids rest half closed, opening slowly when they do, then lowering again without decision. The boundary between watching and resting softens. You are aware of the world beyond the window, but it no longer feels separate from the quiet inside the compartment. The soundscape remains unchanged, a gentle harmony of motion and stillness. No announcements interrupt the calm. No sudden changes disturb the rhythm. Everything proceeds according to a quiet order that feels deeply reliable. You sense that the night has reached a kind of balance now, where nothing more needs to happen. Snow rests where it has fallen. Trees remain still. Mountains hold their shapes in darkness. And the train passes through all of it with respectful ease, neither hurrying nor lingering. Your body responds by letting go a little more. Muscles soften further. The subtle effort of staying awake fades, replaced by a comfortable drifting that requires no direction. Awareness remains, but it floats lightly, unanchored. The journey continues on through the sleeping Alps, smooth and uninterrupted, and you remain within it, held by warmth, sound, and gentle motion, allowing this quiet passage to carry you onward as the night deepens and rest settles more fully around you. The steady movement of the train creates a sense of suspension, as if you are gently held between places rather than traveling toward one. Distance feels abstract now, reduced to a quiet unfolding that requires no awareness. The Alps pass by outside in long, measured breaths, their presence constant and unhurried. You sense a subtle change in the night, not through sound or motion, but through atmosphere. The darkness beyond the window feels deeper, more complete, as though the world has settled fully into its resting state. Snow reflects less light now, absorbing the moon's glow rather than returning it, giving the landscape a softer, more muted appearance. Inside the compartment, warmth remains steady. The air feels still and comfortable, neither too warm nor too cool. It wraps around you gently, allowing your breathing to remain slow and easy. Each breath seems to fill exactly the space it needs, then leave it without effort. The rhythm beneath you continues unchanged. Wheels meet rails in a pattern that feels ancient and reliable, a sound shaped by repetition and time. It no longer registers as noise, but as reassurance, a constant reminder that everything is moving smoothly and without interruption. Your thoughts drift lazily, appearing as vague impressions rather than structured ideas. They carry no urgency, no direction. Each one dissolves almost as soon as it forms, leaving behind a sense of openness that feels calm and spacious. Outside, the mountains draw slightly closer to the track again, rising in dark, protective shapes. Snow clings to ledges and slopes, outlining the contours of rock beneath. Trees stand quietly along the lower edges, their forms softened by darkness and distance. The train leans gently into another curve, and you feel the motion subtly shift through the seat. It is a smooth, familiar sensation, absorbed easily by your relaxed body. There is no need to adjust or respond. The movement passes through you and fades. Your eyelids remain heavy now, lifting only briefly before lowering again. When they open, the view feels dreamlike, as though you are watching the landscape from a comfortable distance. Details blur softly, blending into a continuous flow of light and shadow. The lamp's glow continues to define the interior space without drawing attention to itself. It creates a small island of warmth and clarity within the vastness of the night. Everything within this circle feels safe, contained, and complete. You become aware of how deeply settled you feel. Muscles rest fully, free from tension. Even the subtle effort of maintaining posture has faded, replaced by complete support from the seat and the gentle vibration of the train. Outside, a narrow pass opens briefly, revealing steep slopes on either side. The train moves through it smoothly, respectfully, as though passing through a place that deserves quiet. Snow-covered rock faces glide by, then widen again into open space. Your breathing slows further, deepening naturally. The pause between breaths grows slightly longer, filled with a calm that feels rich rather than empty. In these pauses, awareness feels diffuse, spread evenly, rather than focused. The journey continues without interruption. No signals flash past the window. No distant lights appear. The world beyond feels entirely devoted to rest, and the train honors that stillness by moving through it gently. You remain suspended within this quiet motion, neither fully awake nor asleep. The boundary between the two states softens, becoming porous and flexible. Rest deepens not as an event, but as a gradual settling. The Alps continue their silent vigil outside, immense and unmoving. Snow rests undisturbed. The sky remains wide and calm. And within this steady passage, you drift further into ease, allowing the night and the journey to carry you forward together, unbroken and serene. The night holds its calm with steady confidence, offering no signals to hurry, no cues to mark progress. The train continues its passage as it has for hours now, gliding through the Alps with a smoothness that feels almost effortless. You sense that the journey has settled into a long middle stretch, a place where nothing needs to change for rest to deepen. Your body remains comfortably still, supported in a way that feels complete. The seat holds you without pressure. The blanket rests lightly, its warmth constant and undemanding. Even the gentle vibration of the train feels familiar now, like a reassuring presence that requires no acknowledgement. Outside, the landscape maintains its quiet rhythm. Snow-covered ground flows past in broad, unbroken expanses. Forests appear as dark, continuous forms rather than individual trees, their details softened by distance and darkness. The mountains rise and fall slowly, their silhouettes steady against the sky. The moonlight shifts subtly as clouds drift overhead. At times, the snow brightens slightly. At others, it dims, absorbing the light into softer tones. These changes are gradual, almost imperceptible, unfolding at a pace that invites relaxation rather than attention. Inside the compartment, sound and stillness blend together. The low hum beneath you, the steady rhythm of the rails, the faint whisper of air along the carriage walls all merge into a single, soothing layer. There are no sharp edges to the sound, no sudden variations. Everything remains even and predictable. You notice how your awareness has grown wider and less focused. Rather than attending to specific details, you sense the journey as a whole. Motion, warmth, sound, and darkness come together as one continuous experience, gentle and uninterrupted. Breathing continues slowly, guided more by comfort than by intention. Each inhale feels easy, each exhale unforced. Between breaths, there is a sense of spaciousness, as though time itself has opened slightly and chosen to linger. The train follows another gentle curve, and the world outside rearranges itself once more. A ridge slides into view, then drifts away. A valley opens briefly, pale and quiet, before the mountains draw closer again. None of these transitions ask for your attention. They simply happen, smooth and unremarkable. You feel a growing sense of trust in the journey. The rails know where they are going. The train responds without effort. The night offers no resistance. Everything works together in calm cooperation, allowing you to rest fully within it. Your eyelids remain closed now for longer stretches. When they open briefly, the view feels distant, as though seen through a veil. Shapes blur softly, lights diffuse, and edges lose their sharpness. The distinction between inside and outside feels less important than the steady sense of comfort. Thoughts appear rarely, and when they do, they feel thin and insubstantial. They pass through without forming stories or questions. There is nothing to solve, nothing to remember. Awareness drifts freely, unattached. Outside, the Alps continue their silent presence. Snow remains undisturbed. Trees stand motionless. The sky stretches wide and calm above it all. The train moves through this stillness with respect, its passage gentle and contained. You remain suspended within this quiet flow, held by motion and warmth. Rest deepens gradually, not as a sudden shift, but as a smooth, natural progression. The journey continues, unbroken and serene, carrying you farther into the night as awareness softens and ease settles fully in. The train carries on through the night with a patience that feels endless. There is no sense of arrival approaching, no subtle cues that anything is about to change. Instead, the journey settles deeper into itself, becoming less about movement through space and more about the quiet continuity that holds everything together. Your awareness drifts gently, resting not on any single thought or sensation, but on the feeling of being supported. The seat, the blanket, the steady vibration beneath you, all of it works together without effort. Nothing presses against you. Nothing pulls you forward. You are simply held. Outside, the Alps remain calm and expansive. Snow stretches across slopes and valleys in soft, unbroken layers. The mountains rise in slow, steady forms, their outlines softened by darkness. Even when hidden from view, their presence feels constant, like a quiet reassurance beyond the glass. The sky above appears deeper now, its darkness smooth and even. Clouds move slowly, if at all, their edges barely distinguishable. Stars, when visible, seem steady and patient, resting in place without flicker or urgency. Inside the compartment, sound has become almost abstract. The hum of the engine and the rhythm of the rails blend into a single, continuous tone. It is neither loud nor quiet, but perfectly balanced, enough to anchor you without drawing attention. Your breathing remains slow and regular. Each breath arrives as if invited, leaves as if released. There is a gentle pause at the end of each exhale, a moment where nothing happens at all, and that nothing feels deeply restful. You notice how your body has surrendered fully to stillness. Muscles soften further, no longer holding even subtle tension. The effort of staying awake fades into the background, replaced by a comfortable drifting that feels safe and natural. The train moves through another gentle curve, and you sense the change without opening your eyes. The motion passes through you smoothly, absorbed without reaction. Everything continues as it should. Outside, the landscape remains devoted to rest. No lights appear. No movement breaks the calm. Snow, forest, and mountain exist together in quiet agreement, and the train passes through with respectful ease. Your thoughts have nearly vanished now, replaced by a broad, unfocused awareness. There is no inner dialogue, no sequence of ideas, just the sensation of warmth, motion, and darkness woven together. Time feels distant and irrelevant. Minutes and hours lose their meaning, dissolving into a single, extended moment. The journey does not need marking or measurement. It simply unfolds. You remain suspended in this gentle passage, carried by the steady motion of the train and the deep calm of the night. Rest settles more fully now, not as an abrupt shift, but as a quiet, gradual deepening, as the Alps continue to slip by outside and the journey moves on, serene and uninterrupted. The night seems to widen around the train, not expanding in space, but in sensation. Everything feels more spacious now, as if the quiet itself has stretched, making room for deeper rest. The movement beneath you remains steady and unbroken, a calm assurance that the journey continues exactly as it should. Your body responds instinctively to this widening calm. Shoulders rest heavier into the seat, not with fatigue, but with trust. The spine settles naturally, supported without effort. Even the smallest muscles, those often unnoticed, seem to soften and release. Outside the window, the Alps pass in a slow procession of shadow and pale light. Snow-covered slopes glide by with no urgency. Forests appear as gentle textures rather than distinct forms, their details softened into calm repetition. The landscape no longer feels observed. It feels shared. The sky remains dark and even, its depth uninterrupted. Clouds drift so slowly they seem almost still. Their presence felt more than seen. When the moonlight filters through, it does so gently, diffusing across snow and stone without contrast or glare. Inside the compartment, the warmth feels constant and enveloping. The air rests quietly, undisturbed by drafts or change. Each breath you take blends seamlessly into this stillness, arriving and leaving without effort. Breathing no longer feels like an action, but like a natural rhythm you are simply part of. The sound of the train continues as a low, continuous presence. Wheels and rails meet with perfect familiarity, producing a rhythm that feels deeply ingrained. It is a sound shaped by repetition and reliability, one that carries no information, only reassurance. Your awareness drifts further from specific sensation and closer to a general sense of ease. You are aware that you are warm, supported, and moving. But the boundaries between these sensations soften. They overlap gently, creating a single, cohesive feeling of comfort. Outside, a narrow valley opens briefly, its snow-covered floor glowing faintly before receding again behind rising slopes. The transition is smooth and unremarkable, like a slow breath taken by the land itself. Nothing interrupts the calm. Your eyelids remain closed now, resting without effort. When they flutter open briefly, the view feels distant and dreamlike, as though seen through a layer of quiet. Shapes blur softly, light diffuses, and nothing asks to be identified. Thoughts have become rare visitors. When one appears, it carries no weight or narrative. It dissolves almost immediately, leaving behind a spacious stillness that feels calm rather than empty. The train continues through the sleeping Alps, its passage smooth and respectful. Mountains hold their shapes in darkness. Snow remains undisturbed. Forests rest. And within this shared stillness, you drift deeper into rest, allowing the steady motion and quiet night to carry you onward, gently and without interruption. The night continues to cradle the train in its deep, unbroken calm. There is a sense now that everything unnecessary has fallen away, leaving only the essentials: motion, warmth, and quiet. The journey no longer feels like something you are part of. It feels like something that is happening around you, gently carrying you within it. Your body remains completely at ease. There is no awareness of edges or pressure points, only a balanced sense of being supported. The seat feels neither firm nor soft, but perfectly suited to holding you without effort. The blanket remains still, its presence felt more as comfort than weight. Outside the window, the Alps continue their slow passage. Snow-covered terrain slides past with serene predictability. The shapes of mountains and valleys are sensed rather than clearly seen, their forms softened into calm silhouettes that require no attention. The sky above remains dark and steady, its depth uninterrupted. Any remaining moonlight filters through gently, diffused and even. The night does not shift or surprise. It simply holds. Inside the compartment, the soundscape remains unchanged. The low hum beneath you, the steady rhythm of wheels on rails, and the faint whisper of air blend into a continuous presence that feels almost like silence. It is a sound that soothes rather than stimulates, anchoring awareness without engaging it. Your breathing is slow and deep, unfolding naturally. Each inhale arrives quietly, filling space without effort. Each exhale leaves warmth behind, releasing it into the still air. The pause between breaths stretches comfortably, filled with ease. Thoughts are nearly absent now. When one does appear, it is fleeting and indistinct, dissolving before it can form words or images. There is no need to follow it. Awareness rests comfortably in sensation alone. The train moves through another gentle curve, and you sense the shift without opening your eyes. The motion passes smoothly through your body and fades, absorbed by relaxation. Everything continues as expected. Outside, the landscape remains devoted to rest. Snow lies undisturbed. Trees stand motionless. The mountains keep their quiet watch. The train's passage feels respectful, as though it is careful not to disturb the night. Time feels completely abstract now. Minutes and hours no longer register. The journey exists only as a continuous, present moment, unbroken and calm. You remain suspended within this gentle flow, neither fully awake nor fully asleep. Rest deepens gradually, like a tide rising slowly and evenly. The train continues onward through the sleeping Alps, and you are carried with it, held securely by motion, warmth, and quiet stillness. The train seems to move now, as if guided by instinct rather than machinery. Its progress so smooth that motion itself feels abstract. You sense the journey continuing, yet there is no feeling of distance being crossed. Instead, there is only the quiet assurance that everything is unfolding steadily, without effort or interruption. Your body remains deeply settled. There is no impulse to shift or adjust. The position you are in feels complete, as though it was always meant to be this way. The seat supports you evenly, the blanket rests gently, and even the subtle vibration beneath you feels comforting rather than noticeable. Outside, the Alps maintain their calm presence. Snow-covered slopes and shadowed forests pass by in long, unbroken lines. The shapes feel familiar now, no longer distinct landmarks, but part of a continuous landscape that accompanies the train rather than passing it. The sky above remains dark and expansive. Any remaining clouds drift slowly, their movement barely perceptible. Stars, when visible, seem fixed and patient, offering no sense of urgency or change. The night holds everything together with quiet consistency. Inside the compartment, sound has softened further. The rhythm of the rails blends seamlessly with the hum of the engine, forming a low, even tone that feels almost like silence. It is a sound that does not ask to be listened to, only felt as a gentle presence. Your breathing continues its slow, natural rhythm. Each inhale arrives softly. Each exhale releases warmth and tension alike. The pause between breaths feels generous, a peaceful stillness where nothing needs to happen. Thought has nearly disappeared now. There is no narrative, no sequence of ideas. Awareness rests lightly, floating within sensation rather than observing it. Warmth, motion, and darkness merge into a single, soothing experience. The train follows another gentle curve, and you sense the shift without opening your eyes. The motion passes through you smoothly, then settles again. Everything remains predictable, calm, and secure. Outside, the landscape continues its quiet rest. Snow remains undisturbed. Trees stand motionless. The mountains hold their steady forms in the darkness. The train moves through this stillness with care, leaving it unchanged behind. Time has lost its shape entirely. There is no sense of before or after, only this continuous moment carried forward by motion and quiet. The journey exists without markers, without expectation. You remain suspended within this gentle flow, deeply at ease. Rest continues to settle, layer by layer, as the train carries you onward through the sleeping Alps, steady and serene, held within the calm embrace of the night. With the night so firmly settled, the journey takes on a quality that feels almost weightless. The train continues forward, but the sense of motion is softened, as though distance itself has chosen to slow. You feel carried rather than moved, supported by a rhythm that has become completely familiar. Your body remains deeply relaxed. There is no tension left to release, no adjustment waiting to be made. The seat holds you evenly, and the blanket rests with gentle certainty. Even the subtle vibration beneath you feels like a steady reassurance, a reminder that everything is progressing smoothly. Outside, the Alps maintain their quiet presence. Snow-covered slopes pass by in long, calm stretches. Forests appear as dark, continuous textures, their individual details dissolved into the larger pattern of rest. The mountains rise and fall slowly, their forms steady and unchanging against the night sky. The sky itself feels vast and patient. Darkness stretches evenly in all directions, uninterrupted and calm. When clouds drift across the stars, they do so slowly, without contrast or urgency, softening the light rather than obscuring it. Inside the compartment, the soundscape remains perfectly consistent. The low hum of the train blends seamlessly with the rhythm of the rails, creating a continuous presence that feels almost like silence. It is a sound that invites rest rather than attention. Your breathing continues in its slow, natural pattern. Each inhale arrives gently. Each exhale releases warmth into the still air. Between breaths, there is a quiet pause that feels expansive and safe, a moment where nothing needs to happen. Awareness drifts lightly now, no longer focused on any particular sensation. Warmth, motion, and sound merge into a single, cohesive experience. There is no separation between inside and outside, between the train and the landscape beyond the window. Outside, another valley opens briefly, pale and wide beneath the night sky. Snow reflects a faint, diffused glow before the land rises again into gentle slopes. The transition is smooth, unremarkable, and deeply calming. Your eyelids remain closed, resting without effort. When they open briefly, the view feels distant and softened, as though seen through a layer of quiet. Shapes blur, light diffuses, and nothing asks to be named. The train continues on through the sleeping Alps, its motion steady and assured, and you remain within this calm passage, drifting comfortably as the night holds its stillness and the journey carries you forward, serene and uninterrupted. The night continues to unfold with a gentle generosity, offering no sharp transitions, no moments that demand attention. The train maintains its calm momentum, gliding forward as though the rails themselves were guiding it with quiet care. Nothing interrupts the flow. Nothing needs to. Your body feels fully at rest now, settled into a state where effort has quietly withdrawn. Muscles remain soft and loose, supported without pressure. The seat cradles you evenly, and the blanket rests with a reassuring constancy, its presence grounding rather than restrictive. Outside the window, the Alps persist in their tranquil passage. Snow-covered slopes stretch on in muted tones, their surfaces smooth and unbroken. Forests appear as deep, dark textures against the pale land, their stillness absolute. The mountains rise and fall slowly, their forms steady and familiar, no longer calling for recognition. The sky above remains wide and calm, its darkness even and undisturbed. Clouds drift at an unhurried pace, softening what little light remains. Stars, when visible, rest quietly in their places, offering no sense of movement or change. Inside the compartment, the soundscape remains perfectly balanced. The low hum of the engine and the steady rhythm of wheels on rails blend into a single, continuous presence. It is not something you listen to consciously, but something that holds the space around you, steady and reassuring. Your breathing continues its slow, natural rhythm. Each inhale arrives gently, filling space without effort. Each exhale releases warmth and ease, leaving behind a sense of comfort that lingers. Between breaths, there is a calm pause, a moment of stillness that feels complete. Awareness drifts lightly now, no longer anchored to specific sensations. Warmth, motion, and sound merge into a single, seamless experience. There is no need to separate them or make sense of them. They simply exist together. Outside, another open stretch of land passes quietly, snow reflecting a faint, diffused glow before fading once more into shadow. The transition is smooth, almost ceremonial, as though the landscape itself were moving in slow rhythm with the train. Your eyelids remain closed, resting without effort. When they open briefly, the view feels distant and softened, like a memory rather than a scene unfolding in real time. Shapes blur gently, light diffuses, and nothing demands identification. The train continues on through the sleeping Alps, its motion unwavering and calm. And you remain within this gentle passage, deeply at ease, carried forward by steady movement and quiet night, allowing rest to deepen naturally as the journey flows on, serene and unbroken. The night feels complete now, settled into a deep, unchanging calm. The train continues its gentle course through the Alps, but the sense of movement has softened to the point of near stillness. You are aware that you are being carried forward, yet there is no impression of distance, only continuity. Your body rests fully within this moment. There is no remaining tension, no impulse to shift or adjust. The seat supports you evenly. The blanket rests in quiet balance, and the subtle vibration beneath you feels like a steady, comforting pulse. Everything works together without effort, allowing you to remain exactly as you are. Outside the window, the landscape remains devoted to rest. Snow lies undisturbed across slopes and valleys. Forests stand silent and dark, their shapes blending into the larger stillness. The mountains hold their forms patiently, unchanged and enduring beneath the night sky. The sky itself feels vast and gentle. Darkness stretches smoothly in every direction, calm and uninterrupted. Any remaining light filters softly through clouds, diffused and even. leaving no sharp contrasts to draw the eye. Inside the compartment, sound has nearly dissolved into silence. The low hum of the train and the rhythm of the rails merge into a single, soothing presence that feels more like a background warmth than a noise. It holds the space quietly, offering reassurance without demanding attention. Your breathing continues slowly and naturally. Each inhale arrives without effort. Each exhale releases warmth and ease. Between breaths, there is a peaceful pause, a moment where awareness floats gently, unanchored and calm. Thought has faded almost entirely now. There is no inner dialogue, no images forming. Awareness rests lightly within sensation, held by warmth, motion, and quiet. The boundary between waking and sleep feels thin and flexible, no longer important to define. The train continues through the Alps without announcement or pause, as if the night itself has decided that this gentle motion should simply go on. There is no clear boundary between what has already passed and what is still unfolding. The journey feels like a single, continuous breath, slow and unbroken. You remain settled in the same quiet comfort, your body resting fully into the support beneath you. The seat holds your weight evenly, without pressure or demand. The blanket lies softly across you, its warmth steady and familiar, as though it has always been there. Nothing needs to be adjusted. Everything is already enough. Outside the window, the landscape has softened even further. Snow-covered slopes glide past in pale, muted tones, their contours blurred by darkness and distance. Forests appear as gentle shadows, no longer separate trees, but calm, continuous forms that move slowly alongside the train. The mountains rise and fall in broad silhouettes, steady and patient against the night sky. The sky itself feels deeper now, its darkness smooth and expansive. Any remaining clouds drift so slowly they seem almost still, softening what little light remains. When stars appear, they do so quietly, fixed in place, offering no sense of movement or urgency. Inside the compartment, sound has settled into a delicate balance. The low hum of the train and the rhythm of the rails blend together into a single, even presence. It is no longer something you listen to, but something that holds the space around you, steady and reassuring. Your breathing continues in its own natural rhythm. Each inhale arrives gently, filling space without effort. Each exhale releases warmth and ease, leaving behind a sense of calm that lingers. Between breaths, there is a soft pause, a moment where awareness floats lightly, unanchored and relaxed. Thoughts are rare now, and when they appear, they feel distant and weightless. They do not form stories or questions. They pass through like faint impressions, dissolving almost as soon as they arise. There is nothing to follow and nothing to resolve. The train leans subtly into a curve, and you sense the motion pass smoothly through your body. It feels familiar and safe, absorbed easily by your relaxed posture. Outside, the mountains rearrange themselves quietly, revealing new valleys and slopes before settling back into shadow. Snow reflects a faint, diffused glow where moonlight filters through clouds. The light is gentle, never sharp, smoothing the landscape into calm gradients of pale and dark. Frozen streams glint briefly below, then disappear again into the night. You notice how time has lost its structure entirely. There is no sense of how long you have been traveling, nor how much remains. The journey exists only as movement and stillness intertwined, unfolding at a pace that asks nothing of you. Inside, warmth remains constant. The air is still and comfortable, wrapping around you without change. The lamps glow, whether seen directly or through closed eyelids, feel soft and reassuring, defining the space without drawing attention. Your awareness drifts gently between sensation and rest. Sometimes you are faintly aware of the view beyond the glass. Other times, the outside world recedes entirely, replaced by warmth, sound, and the steady feeling of being carried. Neither state feels more important than the other. Outside, the Alps continue their silent vigil. Snow rests undisturbed where it has fallen. Trees stand motionless. The mountains hold their forms with quiet confidence, unchanged by the passing train. The entire landscape seems devoted to rest, and the train honors that stillness by moving through it gently. Your body responds by settling even deeper. Muscles soften further, releasing subtle tension you were not aware of holding. The effort of remaining awake fades into the background, replaced by a comfortable drifting that feels natural and safe. The soundscape remains unchanged, a steady harmony of motion and quiet. No announcements break the calm. No sudden changes disturb the rhythm. Everything proceeds according to a gentle order that feels deeply reliable. You sense that the journey has entered another long, quiet stretch. There is nothing new to anticipate, nothing approaching that requires attention. The train simply continues, carrying you through the heart of the Alps as the night holds steady around it. Awareness floats lightly now, resting more in feeling than in thought. Warmth, motion, and darkness blend together into a single, soothing presence. The boundary between inside and outside, between movement and stillness, grows less distinct. The train glides onward through the sleeping mountains, smooth and unwavering. And you remain within this gentle passage, supported completely, allowing rest to deepen at its own pace as the journey continues, calm and unbroken. The night remains steady and generous, offering no interruptions to the quiet flow of the journey. The train continues forward with the same unhurried confidence, its motion so smooth that it feels almost imagined. You are aware of being carried, yet there is no sensation of speed, only a gentle continuity that asks nothing of you. Your body stays at ease, settled into a comfort that feels complete. The seat supports you without pressure, and the blanket rests lightly, its warmth consistent and familiar. There is no need to adjust or shift. Everything has found its place, including you. Outside, the Alps pass in long, softened forms. Snow-covered slopes move by in pale layers, their edges blurred by distance and darkness. Forests appear as deep, quiet bands, their details dissolved into calm repetition. The mountains rise and fall slowly, their silhouettes steady and reassuring against the night sky. The sky feels vast and still, its darkness smooth and uninterrupted. Clouds drift slowly, barely perceptible, softening what little light remains. When stars appear, they do so quietly, fixed and patient, offering no sense of urgency or change. Inside the compartment, sound continues to rest in perfect balance. The low hum of the train blends seamlessly with the rhythm of the rails, forming a continuous presence that feels more like a gentle atmosphere than a sound. It holds the space calmly, without drawing attention. Your breathing remains slow and natural. Each inhale arrives softly, filling space without effort. Each exhale releases warmth and ease, leaving behind a sense of quiet satisfaction. Between breaths, there is a peaceful pause where awareness floats lightly, unanchored and calm. Thoughts drift through only occasionally now, and when they do, they feel distant and weightless. They do not linger or form stories. They pass like faint impressions, dissolving almost as soon as they arise. There is nothing to follow, nothing to resolve. The train leans gently into a curve, and you sense the motion pass smoothly through your body. It feels familiar and safe, absorbed easily by your relaxed posture. Outside, the mountains rearrange themselves quietly, revealing new valleys and slopes before settling back into shadow. Moonlight filters softly through thin clouds, spreading a faint glow across the snow. The light is gentle and diffuse, smoothing the landscape into calm gradients of pale and dark. Frozen streams glint briefly below, then disappear again into the night. You notice how completely time has faded from awareness. There is no sense of duration, no markers of progress. The journey exists only as motion and stillness intertwined, unfolding at a pace that feels perfectly natural. Inside, warmth remains constant. The air is still and comfortable, wrapping around you without change. The lamps glow, whether seen directly or sensed through closed eyelids, feel soft and reassuring, defining the space without asking for attention. Your awareness drifts gently between sensation and rest. Sometimes you are faintly aware of the view beyond the glass. Other times, the outside world recedes entirely, replaced by warmth, sound, and the steady feeling of being carried. Neither state feels more important than the other. Outside, the Alps continue their silent watch. Snow rests undisturbed where it has fallen. Trees stand motionless. The mountains hold their forms with quiet confidence, unchanged by the passing train. The entire landscape seems devoted to rest, and the train honors that stillness by moving through it gently. Your body responds by settling even deeper. Muscles soften further, releasing subtle tension you were not aware of holding. The effort of remaining awake fades into the background, replaced by a comfortable drifting that feels safe and natural. The soundscape remains unchanged, a steady harmony of motion and quiet. No announcements break the calm. No sudden changes disturb the rhythm. Everything proceeds according to a gentle order that feels deeply reliable. You sense that the journey has entered another long, quiet stretch. There is nothing new to anticipate, nothing approaching that requires attention. The train simply continues, carrying you through the heart of the Alps as the night holds steady around it. Awareness floats lightly now, resting more in feeling than in thought. Warmth, motion, and darkness blend together into a single, soothing presence. The boundary between inside and outside, between movement and stillness, grows less distinct. The train glides onward through the sleeping mountains, smooth and unwavering. And you remain within this gentle passage, supported completely, allowing rest to deepen at its own pace as the journey continues, calm and unbroken. The gentle motion continues without interruption, the train moving as if guided by the quiet intention of the night itself. Nothing announces the passing of distance. Nothing signals progress. The journey feels less like travel now and more like a sustained state of calm, a long moment unfolding slowly and without effort. Your body remains deeply settled, held comfortably in place. There is a sense that you could remain exactly like this for a very long time without needing to move or adjust. The support beneath you feels balanced and complete, distributing weight evenly, allowing muscles to rest fully. Outside, the landscape maintains its softened forms. Snow-covered hills drift by in pale layers, their shapes gentle and rounded. Forests appear as quiet textures rather than distinct features, their stillness absolute. The mountains rise and fall at a distance, their presence steady and reassuring, like a quiet horizon that never demands attention. The sky above remains dark and expansive, its depth uninterrupted. Any clouds move so slowly they seem almost suspended, blurring the faint light that filters through them. The stars, when visible, appear calm and fixed, resting in their places without movement or urgency. Inside the compartment, the sound of the train continues as a low, even presence. It does not change or fluctuate. It simply exists, steady and dependable, filling the space with a sense of continuity. It feels less like sound and more like a gentle atmosphere. Your breathing remains slow and unforced. Each inhale arrives smoothly. Each exhale leaves warmth behind. The pause between breaths feels spacious, like a quiet clearing where awareness can rest without effort. Thoughts are now little more than passing sensations. They do not take shape as words or images. They drift through lightly and dissolve, leaving behind a calm openness. There is nothing to follow and nothing to return to. The train follows another subtle curve, and you sense the change without opening your eyes. The motion passes through you gently, absorbed by stillness. Everything continues exactly as it should. Moonlight, softened by clouds, spreads faintly across the snow outside. The light is diffuse and even, smoothing the landscape into gentle transitions of pale and dark. Frozen water glints briefly, then disappears again into shadow. time feels entirely absent now. There is no awareness of how long the journey has been underway, nor how much remains. The present moment feels complete on its own, needing no reference beyond itself. Inside, warmth remains constant. The air feels settled and still, wrapping around you comfortably. The glow of the lamp, whether seen or simply sensed, provides a quiet reassurance, defining the space without drawing attention. Your awareness drifts effortlessly between sensation and rest. Sometimes there is a faint sense of motion beneath you. Other times, only warmth and quiet remain. Neither state feels more real than the other. Outside, the Alps continue their silent presence. Snow lies undisturbed. Trees stand motionless. The mountains hold their forms with enduring calm. The train moves through this resting world gently, leaving no trace of disturbance behind. You feel yourself sinking deeper into ease, not falling asleep suddenly, but drifting gradually, like settling into still water. Awareness softens at the edges. Sensations blur gently together. The journey continues, smooth and unbroken, and you remain within it, fully supported, allowing the night and the steady motion of the train to carry you onward, quietly and peacefully, as rest deepens naturally. The calm of the night remains unbroken, holding the train and everything within it in a gentle, steady embrace. There is no sense of urgency anywhere now. The rails guide the wheels with quiet certainty, and the journey continues as if it could go on like this indefinitely, smooth and uninterrupted. Your body feels completely at rest, settled into a state where even the idea of movement feels unnecessary. The seat supports you effortlessly. The blanket rests exactly where it should, and the warmth around you feels balanced and constant. Nothing presses, nothing pulls. You are simply held. Outside, the landscape drifts by in softened layers of light and shadow. Snow-covered ground appears pale and calm, its surface unbroken and smooth. Forests pass as deep, dark textures, their details absorbed into the stillness of the night. The mountains remain steady silhouettes, rising and falling gently against the sky. The sky itself feels wide and patient, its darkness even and restful. Clouds, when present, move so slowly they seem almost still, smoothing the faint light that filters through them. The stars remain quiet and distant, offering no movement, only presence. Inside the compartment, the sound of the train has become almost indistinguishable from silence. The low hum, and gentle rhythm beneath you blend into a single, comforting sensation. It is a sound that does not call attention to itself, but quietly assures you that everything is proceeding exactly as it should. Your breathing remains slow and natural, each breath arriving without effort. Inhale gently, exhale softly. Between each breath, there is a peaceful pause, a small pocket of stillness where awareness can rest without needing to focus on anything at all. Thoughts are now rare and fleeting, appearing only as faint impressions before dissolving again. There is no inner conversation, no planning, no remembering. Awareness feels light and spacious, floating comfortably within the present moment. The train follows another gentle curve, and you sense the shift without opening your eyes. The motion passes smoothly through you and fades, absorbed by relaxation. Nothing changes. Nothing needs to. Moonlight continues to filter softly through the clouds, spreading a muted glow across the snow outside. The light smooths the landscape into calm gradients, blurring distinctions and quieting detail. Frozen streams glint briefly, then slip back into darkness. Time feels entirely absent now. There is no awareness of how long you have been traveling or how much remains. The journey exists only as a continuous flow of motion and rest, unfolding naturally without reference to past or future. Inside, warmth remains constant. The air feels settled and still, wrapping around you gently. The lamps glow, whether seen, directly or sensed through closed eyelids, provides a soft reassurance, defining the space without drawing attention. Your awareness drifts effortlessly between sensation and rest. Sometimes you sense the gentle vibration beneath you. Other times, there is only warmth and quiet. Both states blend together smoothly, without separation. Outside, the Alps continue their silent presence. Snow rests undisturbed. Trees stand motionless. The mountains hold their shapes with enduring calm. The train moves through this resting world gently, leaving everything unchanged behind it. You feel yourself drifting deeper into ease, not slipping suddenly into sleep, but settling gradually, like sinking into calm water. Sensations soften. Awareness loosens its edges. The journey continues, steady and serene, and you remain within it, fully supported, allowing the quiet motion of the train and the deep stillness of the night to carry you onward, peacefully and without interruption. The stillness seems to deepen further, as though the night has settled into its most restful layer. The train continues on, unwavering, its motion so consistent that it feels almost like a gentle suspension rather than travel. You are aware of being carried, yet the sensation is soft and diffuse, never demanding attention. Your body remains comfortably heavy, supported in every place it touches the seat. There is no strain, no pressure, only an even distribution of warmth and ease. The blanket rests quietly, its presence steady and reassuring, adding to the sense that everything has already been taken care of. Outside, the Alps drift past in long, calm sequences. Snow-covered slopes appear smooth and uninterrupted, their pale surfaces absorbing what little light remains. Forests move by as dark, unified shapes, their details dissolved into the larger quiet of the landscape. The mountains stand with patient certainty, rising and falling gently beyond the window. The sky above remains deep and calm, its darkness wide and even. Clouds, when they pass, do so slowly, softening the faint glow that filters through them. The night offers no contrast, no sharp edges, only gradual transitions that invite rest. Inside the compartment, the sound of the train blends seamlessly into the background. The low hum and steady rhythm beneath you form a continuous presence that feels almost like silence. It supports the quiet rather than interrupting it, allowing awareness to rest without effort. Your breathing continues slowly and naturally. Each inhale arrives with ease, filling space without urgency. Each exhale leaves gently, releasing warmth and comfort into the still air. Between breaths, there is a soft pause that feels spacious and calm. Thoughts, when they arise, are faint and fleeting. They do not form words or images. They pass through like distant echoes, dissolving before they can settle. Awareness remains light and open, resting comfortably in sensation rather than thought. The train eases through another gentle curve, and you sense the motion subtly shift, then return to steady alignment. The movement is smooth and familiar, absorbed easily by your relaxed body. Nothing changes. Nothing needs to. Moonlight continues to filter softly across the snow, diffused and even. The light smooths the landscape into quiet gradients of pale and dark, blurring distinctions and calming detail. Frozen streams glimmer briefly, then fade back into shadow. Time feels entirely absent now. There is no awareness of minutes or hours, no sense of how far you have come or how far remains. The journey exists only as this continuous moment, unfolding gently, without reference to anything beyond itself. Inside, warmth remains constant. The air is still and comfortable, surrounding you evenly. The lamp's glow, whether seen or simply sensed, provides a soft reassurance, defining the space without drawing focus. Your awareness drifts effortlessly between sensation and rest. Sometimes there is a faint sense of motion beneath you. Other times, only warmth and quiet remain. These states blend together smoothly, without boundary. Outside, the Alps continue their silent watch. Snow rests undisturbed. Trees stand motionless. The mountains hold their forms with enduring calm. The train moves through this resting world gently, leaving everything unchanged behind it. You feel yourself settling even deeper, not falling asleep abruptly, but easing gradually into a more profound rest. Sensations soften further. Awareness loosens, becoming broad and gentle. The journey continues on through the night, steady and serene, and you remain within it, fully supported, allowing the quiet motion of the train and the deep stillness of the Alps to carry you onward, peacefully and without interruption. The train keeps its gentle promise to the night, moving forward with a calm that feels deeply settled. There is no change in pace, no signal that anything new is approaching. The journey seems content to remain exactly as it is, unfolding slowly and evenly, as though time itself has decided to rest. Your body continues to feel supported in every quiet way. The seat holds you without pressure. The blanket maintains its gentle warmth, and the surrounding air feels still and balanced. Nothing calls for adjustment. Comfort has become the natural state. Outside, the Alps drift by in softened layers. Snow lies smooth and unbroken across slopes and open ground, absorbing the faint light that reaches it. Forests appear as calm, dark textures, their shapes steady and unchanging. The mountains rise and fall beyond them, patient and enduring, their presence felt even when details fade. The sky remains deep and expansive, its darkness even and restful. Clouds pass slowly, smoothing the last traces of light into a gentle glow. Stars, when visible, rest quietly in their places, offering no movement, only presence. Inside the compartment, the sound of the train has become part of the stillness. The low hum and steady rhythm beneath you blend into a single, soothing sensation. It no longer feels like sound at all, but like a quiet foundation supporting everything else. Your breathing stays slow and natural. Each inhale arrives without effort. Each exhale releases warmth and ease. The pause between breaths feels calm and spacious, a small pocket of stillness where awareness can rest comfortably. Thoughts are now distant and indistinct, more like soft impressions than ideas. They do not linger or form patterns. They pass through gently and dissolve, leaving behind a wide, quiet awareness. The train eases through another subtle curve, and you sense the motion shift briefly before settling again. The movement is smooth and familiar, absorbed easily by your relaxed body. Everything continues exactly as it should. Moonlight filters softly across the snow outside, diffused and even. The light smooths the landscape into quiet gradients, blurring edges and calming detail. Frozen streams glimmer faintly, then fade back into shadow. Time feels entirely unnecessary now. There is no awareness of duration or distance. The journey exists only as this steady present moment, unfolding gently without reference to anything beyond itself. Inside, warmth remains constant. The air feels settled and still, surrounding you evenly. The lamp's glow, whether seen or sensed, provides a soft reassurance, defining the space without drawing focus. Your awareness drifts effortlessly between sensation and rest. Sometimes there is a faint sense of motion beneath you. Other times, only warmth and quiet remain. These states blend together smoothly, without boundary. Outside, the Alps continue their silent watch. Snow rests undisturbed. Trees stand motionless. The mountains hold their forms with enduring calm. The train moves through this resting world gently, leaving everything unchanged behind it. You feel yourself sinking deeper into ease, not falling asleep suddenly, but settling gradually, like easing into still water. Sensations soften further. Awareness loosens, becoming broad and gentle. The journey continues on through the night, steady and serene, and you remain within it, fully supported, allowing the quiet motion of the train and the deep stillness of the mountains to carry you onward, peacefully and without interruption. The night seems to breathe slowly around the train, its stillness deep and unbroken. The motion continues with the same gentle certainty, as if the rails and wheels have entered into a quiet agreement to move without disturbance. You sense that the journey has settled into a long, peaceful stretch where nothing changes and nothing needs to. Your body remains fully at rest, supported in a way that feels effortless. There is no tension left to release, no adjustment waiting to be made. The seat holds you evenly, and the blanket rests in calm balance, its warmth constant and reassuring. Everything feels stable, contained, and kind. Outside the window, the Alps glide past in muted tones. Snow-covered ground stretches out in pale continuity, absorbing the faint light of the sky. Forests appear as dark, gentle textures, their forms softened into quiet repetition. The mountains rise and fall beyond them, steady and patient, never demanding attention. The sky above remains wide and calm, its darkness smooth and even. Clouds drift slowly, barely perceptible, softening the remaining glow into something diffuse and gentle. Stars, when visible, rest quietly in place, offering presence rather than movement. Inside the compartment, the sound of the train has faded into the background so completely that it feels almost like silence. The low hum and steady rhythm beneath you form a subtle foundation, a quiet reassurance that everything is moving exactly as it should. Your breathing continues slowly and naturally. Each inhale arrives without effort, filling space with ease. Each exhale releases warmth and comfort, leaving behind a sense of calm that lingers. Between breaths, there is a soft pause, a peaceful moment where awareness rests without direction. Thoughts are now little more than faint impressions. They do not take shape or ask for attention. They drift through gently and dissolve, leaving behind a broad, open awareness that feels light and spacious. The train eases through another gentle curve, and you sense the motion shift briefly before settling again. The movement passes smoothly through your body, absorbed by relaxation. Nothing changes. Nothing needs to. Moonlight filters softly across the snow outside, diffused and even. The light smooths the landscape into calm gradients, blurring edges and quieting detail. Frozen streams glimmer faintly, then slip back into shadow. Time feels entirely irrelevant now. There is no awareness of duration or distance. The journey exists only as this continuous present moment, unfolding gently without reference to past or future. Inside, warmth remains constant. The air feels still and balanced, surrounding you evenly. The lamps glow, whether seen directly or sensed through closed eyelids, offers a soft reassurance, defining the space without drawing focus. Your awareness drifts effortlessly between sensation and rest. Sometimes there is a faint sense of motion beneath you. Other times, only warmth and quiet remain. These states blend together smoothly, without boundary. Outside, the Alps continue their silent watch. Snow rests undisturbed. Trees stand motionless. The mountains hold their forms with enduring calm. The train moves through this resting world gently, leaving everything unchanged behind it. You feel yourself settling more deeply, not falling asleep suddenly, but easing gradually into a profound stillness. Sensations soften further. Awareness loosens, becoming broad and gentle. The journey continues on through the night, steady and serene, and you remain within it, fully supported, allowing the quiet motion of the train and the deep stillness of the mountains to carry you onward, peacefully and without interruption. The night remains settled in its deepest calm, as if the world beyond the window has fully surrendered to rest. The train continues its gentle progress, steady and unhurried, moving through the Alps with a quiet confidence that never wavers. There is no sense of approaching anything, no feeling of leaving something behind. There is only this smooth continuation. Your body stays comfortably at ease, held in a position that feels perfectly natural. The support beneath you is even and reliable, allowing every muscle to remain soft and unstrained. The blanket rests lightly, its warmth constant, creating a small, contained world of comfort that requires nothing from you. Outside, the landscape drifts past in softened layers of light and shadow. Snow-covered slopes appear pale and calm, their surfaces uninterrupted and smooth. Forests move by as deep, quiet forms, their details absorbed into the stillness. The mountains rise and fall beyond them, steady and enduring, never demanding attention. The sky above remains vast and calm, its darkness smooth and even. Clouds pass slowly, softening what little light remains into a gentle glow. Stars, when visible, rest quietly in place, offering presence rather than movement, adding to the sense of quiet continuity. Inside the compartment, the sound of the train feels fully integrated into the stillness. The low hum and gentle rhythm beneath you no longer register as sound, but as a subtle reassurance, a quiet indication that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Your breathing continues at its own relaxed pace, Each inhale arrives gently. Each exhale releases warmth and ease. The pause between breaths feels spacious and calm, a moment where awareness rests without direction or effort. Thought has almost completely faded now. There are no images forming, no words taking shape. Awareness remains soft and open, resting comfortably within sensation rather than observation. The train eases through another gentle curve, and you sense the shift faintly before everything settles again. The movement is smooth and familiar, absorbed easily by your relaxed body. Nothing changes. Nothing needs to. Moonlight filters softly across the snow outside, diffused and even. The light smooths the landscape into quiet gradients, blurring distinctions and calming detail. Frozen streams glimmer briefly, then return to shadow. Time feels entirely unnecessary here. There is no awareness of duration or distance, no need to measure or mark anything. The journey exists only as this continuous, present moment, unfolding gently without reference to past or future. Inside, warmth remains constant. The air feels still and balanced, surrounding you evenly. The soft glow within the compartment provides a gentle reassurance, defining the space without drawing focus. You feel yourself settling more deeply still, not falling asleep abruptly, but easing gradually into a profound, comfortable stillness. Sensations soften further, and awareness loosens, becoming broad and gentle. The train continues on through the night, steady and serene, and you remain within this calm passage, fully supported, allowing the quiet motion of the journey and the deep stillness of the Alps to carry you onward, peacefully and without interruption. The night holds its final stretch with the same quiet patience that has carried you all along. The train continues forward, unhurried and steady, as if it knows this journey is meant to end gently, without announcement or urgency. There is no sense of arrival pressing in, only a deepening calm that suggests the world is preparing for rest in its most complete form. Your body remains settled in a state of effortless comfort. The seat supports you evenly, the blanket rests with familiar warmth, and the air around you feels still and balanced. There is nothing left to adjust, nothing left to consider. Everything has found its place, including you. Outside the window, the Alps continue to pass in softened silhouettes. Snow-covered slopes glow faintly under the diffused night light, their contours smooth and unbroken. Forests drift by as quiet, dark expanses, their details absorbed into the larger stillness. The mountains rise and fall with enduring calm, their presence steady and reassuring. The sky above feels vast and gentle, its darkness even and uninterrupted. Clouds move slowly, if at all, softening the last traces of light into a muted glow. Stars, when visible, remain fixed and patient, offering presence rather than motion. Inside the compartment, the sound of the train has blended completely into the quiet. The low hum beneath you and the steady rhythm of the rails feel less like sound and more like a soft foundation, supporting everything without drawing attention. It is a reassurance you no longer consciously notice, yet one that holds you steadily. Your breathing continues in a slow, natural rhythm. Each inhale arrives with ease. Each exhale releases warmth and comfort. The pause between breaths feels spacious and calm, a moment where awareness can rest without direction or effort. Thought has faded almost entirely now. There are no images forming, no words taking shape. Awareness remains broad and gentle, resting comfortably within sensation rather than observation. The boundary between waking and sleep feels thin and flexible, no longer important to define. The train eases through a gentle curve, and you sense the shift faintly before everything settles again. The movement is smooth and familiar, absorbed easily by your relaxed body. Nothing changes. Nothing needs to. Moonlight filters softly across the snow outside, diffused and even. The light smooths the landscape into quiet gradients, blurring distinctions and calming detail. Frozen streams glimmer briefly, then slip back into shadow. Time feels entirely unnecessary here. There is no awareness of duration or distance, no need to measure or mark anything. The journey exists only as this continuous, present moment, unfolding gently without reference to past or future. Inside, warmth remains constant. The air feels settled and still, surrounding you evenly. The soft glow within the compartment provides a gentle reassurance, defining the space without drawing focus. You sense a gradual shift in the quality of rest, not as an ending, but as a settling into something deeper. Muscles soften further. Awareness loosens its edges. The gentle motion of the train continues to carry you forward, steady and serene, as the night holds everything in its calm embrace. The calm continues to deepen, layer by layer, as the train glides onward through the sleeping mountains. Nothing about the motion has changed, yet it feels softer now, as if even the rails have learned the rhythm of rest. The journey moves forward without effort, carrying you gently through the final stretch of night. Your body remains at ease, resting fully into the support around you. There is a sense of completeness in this stillness, as though nothing more is required for comfort. The seat holds you with quiet reliability. The blanket rests with familiar warmth. The air feels balanced and kind, neither cool nor warm, simply present. Outside, the Alps maintain their quiet passage. Snow-covered ground drifts by in pale, muted tones, uninterrupted and smooth. Forests appear as calm, dark expanses, their shapes softened into gentle continuity. The mountains rise and fall slowly, their silhouettes steady against the dark sky, unchanged and enduring. The sky itself feels wide and untroubled. Darkness stretches evenly overhead, with clouds moving so slowly they seem almost still. Any remaining moonlight filters through gently, diffused and even, smoothing the world into quiet gradients of light and shadow. Inside the compartment, sound has become almost indistinguishable from silence. The low hum of the train and the rhythm beneath you merge into a single, steady presence that supports the quiet rather than interrupting it. You no longer notice it as sound. It feels more like a gentle foundation, holding everything in place. Your breathing continues slowly and naturally. Each inhale arrives without effort. Each exhale releases warmth and ease. The pause between breaths feels spacious and calm, a soft resting place where awareness can settle without direction. Thought remains distant now, appearing only as faint impressions before dissolving again. There is no need to follow them, no impulse to hold on to anything. Awareness feels broad and gentle, floating comfortably within sensation rather than observation. The train eases through another subtle curve, and you sense the motion shift briefly before settling again. The movement passes smoothly through your relaxed body and fades. Everything continues exactly as it should. Outside, moonlight touches the snow in quiet patches, diffused and soft. Frozen streams glimmer briefly, then disappear back into shadow. The landscape offers no contrast, no sharp detail, only a steady invitation to rest. Time has lost all meaning here. There is no sense of before or after, no awareness of distance covered or distance remaining. The journey exists only as this gentle present moment, unfolding without reference to anything beyond itself. Inside, warmth remains constant. The air feels still and balanced, surrounding you evenly. The soft glow within the compartment provides a quiet reassurance, defining the space without drawing attention. You sense yourself drifting more deeply into rest, not as an ending, but as a gradual settling. Muscles soften further. Awareness loosens its edges. The gentle motion of the train continues to carry you forward, steady and serene, as the night holds everything in its calm embrace. The The journey continues through the Alps, smooth and unbroken, and you remain within it, fully supported, allowing the quiet motion and deep stillness to guide you gently toward complete rest. The night feels settled into its final calm, as though the world has gently folded itself into stillness. The train continues forward with the same quiet assurance, its movement steady and smooth, carrying you through the last hours before morning, without any need for awareness or anticipation. Your body remains comfortably supported, every point of contact resting easily. There is no tension left to soften, no adjustment waiting to be made. The warmth around you feels complete and familiar, like a space that has been shaped exactly for rest. Even the subtle vibration beneath you feels kind, a gentle reminder that the journey is continuing on your behalf. Outside, the Alps pass by in long, unbroken sequences of shadow and pale light. Snow-covered slopes stretch calmly into the distance, their surfaces smooth and undisturbed. Forests drift alongside as dark, quiet expanses, their shapes blending into the larger stillness of the night. The mountains remain patient and enduring, their silhouettes steady against the sky. The sky above feels vast and untroubled. Darkness rests evenly, softened by slow-moving clouds that blur the remaining light into gentle gradients. When stars appear, they do so quietly, fixed and calm, adding to the sense of continuity rather than change. Inside the compartment, sound has receded almost entirely. The low hum of the train and the rhythm of the rails feel less like sound and more like a steady presence, something that supports the quiet without interrupting it. You no longer register it consciously. It simply exists, reliable and soothing. Your breathing remains slow and natural, each breath arriving without effort. Inhale gently, exhale softly. Between breaths, there is a peaceful pause, a small space where awareness rests without needing to focus or move. Thought has faded into the background now, appearing only as faint impressions that dissolve almost immediately. There is no inner conversation, no sense of narrative. Awareness feels broad and gentle, floating comfortably within warmth, motion, and quiet. The train follows another subtle curve, and you sense the motion shift briefly before settling again. The movement passes smoothly through your relaxed body, absorbed without response. Everything continues exactly as it should. Outside, moonlight touches the snow in soft, uneven patches, diffused and calm. Frozen streams glimmer faintly, then return to shadow. The landscape offers no contrast, no sharp detail, only a steady invitation to rest. Time feels entirely absent now. There is no sense of how long you have been traveling or how much remains. The journey exists only as this continuous present moment, unfolding gently without reference to past or future. Inside, warmth remains constant. The air feels still and balanced, surrounding you evenly. The soft glow within the compartment provides quiet reassurance, defining the space without drawing attention. You sense yourself drifting further into rest, not as an ending, but as a natural settling. Muscles soften completely. Awareness loosens its edges. The gentle motion of the train continues to carry you forward, steady and serene, as the night holds everything in its calm embrace. The journey continues on through the Alps, smooth and unbroken, and you remain within it, fully supported, allowing the quiet motion and deep stillness to guide you gently toward complete rest. The quiet deepens further, as though the night has reached a place where nothing more needs to unfold. the train continues its gentle movement through the Alps, steady and composed, carrying you forward without asking for awareness or attention. Everything feels settled into a rhythm that will not change. Your body rests fully within this calm. There is no sense of effort anywhere, no subtle tension waiting to release. The seat supports you evenly, the blanket remains warm and familiar, and the air around you feels soft and balanced. You are held comfortably, without needing to respond or adjust. Outside, the landscape drifts by with unbroken serenity. Snow-covered ground stretches smoothly into the darkness, its surface untouched and quiet. Forests pass as dark, unified shapes, their details absorbed into the larger stillness. The mountains rise and fall gently beyond them, steady and enduring, offering a sense of quiet permanence. The sky above remains wide and peaceful. Darkness settles evenly, softened by slow-moving clouds that blur the remaining light into gentle shades. When stars appear, they do so without movement or emphasis, resting calmly in place. Inside the compartment, sound has faded into something almost indistinguishable from silence. The low hum of the train and the subtle rhythm beneath you form a soft foundation, supporting the quiet rather than interrupting it. It feels reassuring, constant, and kind. Your breathing continues at a slow, natural pace. Each inhale arrives easily. Each exhale releases warmth and ease. Between breaths, there is a calm pause, a small space where awareness rests without direction or thought. Thought itself has nearly disappeared now, leaving only a gentle awareness that feels broad and open. There are no images forming, no words shaping themselves. Sensation remains soft and steady, held within warmth and motion. The train follows another subtle curve, and you sense the shift faintly before everything settles again. The movement passes through your relaxed body and fades, absorbed without response. Everything continues exactly as it should. Outside, moonlight touches the snow in quiet, uneven patches, diffused and calm. Frozen streams glimmer briefly, then return to shadow. The landscape offers no contrast, no sharp detail, only a steady invitation to rest. Time feels completely absent now. There is no awareness of duration or distance, no sense of before or after. The journey exists only as this continuous present moment, unfolding gently without reference to anything else. Inside, warmth remains constant. The air feels still and balanced, surrounding you evenly. The soft glow within the compartment provides quiet reassurance, defining the space without drawing attention. You sense yourself settling even more deeply, not falling asleep abruptly, but easing gradually into a profound stillness. Muscles soften completely. Awareness loosens, becoming gentle and expansive. The train continues through the Alps, smooth and unbroken, and you remain within this calm passage, fully supported, allowing the quiet motion and deep stillness of the night to carry you onward, peacefully and without interruption. The train moves on through the night with a calm that feels complete, as if the journey itself understands that this final stretch is meant for rest alone. Nothing new appears outside the window. Nothing needs to. The landscape, the motion, and the quiet all seem to agree that everything is exactly as it should be. Your body remains deeply relaxed, supported without effort. The seat holds you gently, the blanket keeps its familiar warmth, and the air around you feels still and even. There is no urge to move, no impulse to adjust. Comfort has become effortless, something that no longer requires attention. Outside, The Alps continue to drift by in softened silhouettes. Snow lies smooth and undisturbed, reflecting only the faintest glow of nightlight. Forests pass as dark, unified shapes, their details absorbed into the larger calm. The mountains rise and fall slowly, steady and enduring, like quiet companions to the train's passage. The sky remains wide and peaceful. Darkness stretches evenly overhead, softened by slow clouds that blur the remaining light into gentle shades. Stars appear only faintly now, resting quietly in place, adding to the sense of continuity rather than change. Inside the compartment, sound has settled into near silence. The low hum beneath you feels more like a subtle reassurance than a noise, a quiet signal that the journey continues smoothly. You do not listen to it. You simply rest within it. Your breathing stays slow and natural. Each inhale arrives without effort. Each exhale releases warmth and ease. Between breaths, there is a calm pause, a small resting place where awareness floats gently, unanchored and at ease. Thought has faded almost entirely. There is no narrative unfolding, no inner dialogue. Awareness feels broad and soft, resting comfortably within sensation rather than observation. The boundary between waking and sleep feels thin and unimportant. The train eases through another gentle curve, and you sense the shift faintly before everything settles again. The motion passes smoothly through your relaxed body and fades. Everything continues exactly as it should. Outside, moonlight touches the snow in quiet patches, diffused and calm. Frozen streams glimmer briefly, then disappear back into shadow. The landscape offers no contrast, no sharp detail, only a steady invitation to rest. Time no longer has meaning here. There is no awareness of minutes or hours, no sense of distance traveled or distance remaining. The journey exists only as this gentle present moment, unfolding slowly and without reference to anything else. Inside, warmth remains constant. The air feels still and balanced, surrounding you evenly. The soft glow within the compartment provides quiet reassurance, defining the space without drawing attention. You sense yourself drifting toward a deeper rest now, not as an ending, but as a natural settling. Muscles soften completely. Awareness loosens, becoming gentle and expansive. The steady motion of the train continues to carry you forward, calm and serene. The journey through the Alps remains smooth and unbroken, and you rest fully within it, allowing the quiet movement and deep stillness of the night to guide you effortlessly towards sleep. As our journey comes to a gentle close, allow yourself to drift deeper into rest. If you enjoyed traveling with me tonight, you're warmly invited to like this video, share it with a fellow traveler, and subscribe to the channel for more calming journeys like this one. New travel sleep stories are released every week, always waiting for you when you're ready to unwind. Until next time, rest well and travel peacefully.